Justice is blind, but it can be heard. And today, the truth will come out.
Daredevil, you stand accused of being a cartoonish movie with too much leather that stalled Ben Affleck's first run as a superhero and stifled the comic book genre as a whole. How do you plead?
Guilty. Of being a guilty pleasure. First things first, I'm not a blind lawyer, I'm just a cool one. Daredevil's one of those weird movies that I've always loved but everyone else seemed to hate, and so I was shamed into silence, but no more.
I got work to do.
Today we're going to break down why Daredevil's actually one of the best pre-MCU superhero films ever and a staple of early 2000s comic book adaptations. It's got leather costumes, a sequence with brain stems lighting up as Matt gets his powers, symbols made out of fire. For optimal viewing pleasure, choose the director's cut, which has 30 additional minutes that really round out the story. Sidebar, what is it about Ben Affleck's superhero movies where the director's cut are so much better than the theatrical version? You can talk all the smack you want, but there's no denying that this cast is actually fantastic. Ben Affleck is in full-on vigilante mode and shows shades of why he'd actually make a great Batman one day. Colin Farrell is brilliant as the psychotic Bullseye and even relishes killing an old lady with a peanut. And I can't praise Michael Clark Duncan enough as Kingpin. While Vincent D'Onofrio's done a great job showcasing the trauma of that character, Michael Clark Duncan fit the stature of Kingpin, and very few actors at the time were so imposing. Plus, Jon Favreau is basically pre-Happy Hogan here as Foggy Nelson. The weakest of the cast is arguably Jennifer Garner as Elektra, but considering her and Ben got married after this and made babies, there's no denying there's great chemistry between the two. I love the Daredevil show and I think Charlie Cox is fantastic as Matt Murdock. But one gripe I do have with the Netflix show is that Charlie never feels like a superhero. Rather, he often feels like a very skilled fighter who happens to be blind. Ben Affleck's Daredevil is much more comic book accurate and feels very much like a superhero, leaping from buildings and doing things no man could do, disability aside. That's still not to say his body isn't beat to crap as a result. He's addicted to pain meds, his knees crack, he loses teeth after big fights. He even has to sleep in a float tank to get any semblance of peace and quiet. Not to mention, Matt's radar sense in this movie is like 1,000 times cooler than how Netflix presented it. The one indefensible scene from the entire movie is right here, and yes, I hate it as much as you do.
I missed. I never miss.
If I saw a blind guy doing backflips on a seesaw, I might think to myself, hey, that blind guy might be Daredevil. So yeah, it's easily the worst scene in the movie. But one scene, to me, isn't enough to completely damn an entire movie when nearly every comic book movie makes choices I don't agree with. The Dark Knight is a damn near perfect movie, yet I will always lament the fact that Harvey Dent anticlimactically died from a fall when Christopher Nolan foreshadowed in the same movie that height won't kill you. But does that one hiccup make me hate the entire movie? No, because the rest of The Dark Knight is damn brilliant, which leads me to my next point. The movie does an excellent job adapting Frank Miller's legendary run on Daredevil, and dare I say, the Netflix show doesn't even come half as close to getting it right as the movie does.
You're good, baby. I'll give you that. But me? I'm magic.
From the first shot of Daredevil perched atop a gothic cross, the emotional death of Elektra at the hands of Bullseye, the atmospheric fight with Bullseye in the Catholic Church atop the organ pipes, the final confrontation with Kingpin, there's so much good stuff here that if you don't see it, you might be blinder than Matt.
Pathetic.
Did you hate the fact that all the costumes were leather? Welcome to the early 2000s. By that notion, you must also hate the X-Men movies or The Matrix or Blade. But bondage suits aside, Daredevil has a fairly accurate suit, and at least Colin Farrell's Bullseye wants one.
I want a costume.
And one more thing, Daredevil has, hands down, the sweetest superhero suit-up montage since Batman. You can at me all you want. It's awesome and doesn't even need a gratuitous butt shot. What is it about Ben Affleck being a superhero and killing people? The difference between his Daredevil and his Batman, though, is that through the course of this movie, Daredevil learns why killing isn't the answer.
I'm not the bad guy, kid.
Good films are about the protagonist growing, and a lot of superhero films lose sight of that, but ironically, Daredevil does not.
I'm not the bad guy.
Are you kidding me? The soundtrack is full of Seether and Evanescence and feels like it was ripped right out of the WWF Attitude Era. Elektra's training scene to Bring Me to Life is moody and powerful and just kicks all kinds of ass. At the end of the day, for all its moody gothic cheesiness, it's just a fun movie. It never forgets it's a superhero flick and as a result, never takes itself too seriously.
Time to give the devil his due.
So give Daredevil another go. Tweet me at Chris Killian or follow me on Instagram at CK Comedy and tell me if your feelings have changed at all, and I'll see you next time.